everybody, and welcome back to another episode of BoldTakes and Bad Tempers. I'm your host, as always, Zach Ronaldo, better known online as Zach the Bold, and we're just going to get into it. We're going to get into it today. Full transparency, I'm sorry. I'm going to talk a little bit about magic. It's fine, all right? Maybe you can skip over it, but it will lead to bigger things. I want to be very clear with everyone listening right now, okay? There is no roadmap as of right now for the 2026 release schedule for Dungeons & Dragons. I don't know when we'll get it. I don't know if we will. All right, the CEO Hasbro is being sued, which I heard is a nothing burger. It's just a big nothing burger. We don't get anything. Another spin on the wheel of the nothing ever happens roulette table. But because of last episode, and I try to make it where I don't talk about previous episodes, I think I'm really interested at some point in doing like an Anthony Bourdain tour where I just see people play D&D and I'm just like, and I get enriched by seeing how people do it. I'm now going to see in like a year, someone has got this fully funded. They're doing it. No one's going to acknowledge it was my idea. I left the script on the bus. Stranger Things script was mine. I left it on the bus. Those brothers took it from me. They took it from me. I just think like, because of what I said last episode and thinking about how someone plays the game, which I truly don't think is the game in the first place, I'm so curious to see how and why people play the games that they do, why they do it. Is it for a level of like training? I've been scrolling on Twitter and social media and Reddit and Instagram too much, and I think it's time to call it quits on the scrolling entirely. I think that, like, I've spent one too many showers arguing with myself. Why did they say this? Did they say that? About other people's opinions. And it's not even about world things. It's not about worldly things. It's about anime, books. It's about movies, the Oscars. I don't see myself as a worldly person. I walk into, a place in a strip mall, a restaurant in a strip mall, and I don't know how to eat the food. People said the food here was good because it's a hole in the wall. If I go against that, I'm the bad person. The best food is found in the hole in the walls, and then I go to the hole in the wall, maybe it's not good. Am I wrong? Who do I debate that for? Who do I debate that with? But the anger is inside of me. It boils, it stews. I watch as my life passes by me behind a black obelisk that I carry around with me so that people can carry my location at all times. I drive in a car that Will Smith and iRobot would shoot with a gun. I'm like John Proctor in The Crucible. That is what my life is. That's what our life is. And it's exaggerated because I'm having fake arguments in my head because I'm not going to reply to the comments. I'm not going to tell someone's wrong. For what? The people I know who debate online with others are some of the most miserable people I've ever met in my life. I've talked to people in the real world that have like tried to start a dialogue with me that is like a debate. And I concede. Why? Is it because I don't stand for what I believe in? Is it because I don't have the ability to argue for what truly makes my identity me? No. It's because we're playing Magic, and I don't want to talk about that right now because we don't get anything productive done. And then they go on Reddit and they say, I've met these people in real life, and they can't argue. They just have like these bullet points to talk about. And I'm just there and I'm losing years off my life. And I think back about when the time was good and when I was in 5th grade and I told some kid that I was going to Burger King tonight and I was excited about it because they had the new funnel cake dipsticks. And he said, "You're excited to go to Burger King?" Am I not excited to feel the spring wind on my face? Am I not excited to smell the morning air that I haven't smelled since I left for the zoo when I was in the elementary school? When I looked around and my biggest problem was whether or not I got to play the new Call of Duty when I got home. And for them, what? They travel to Paris. They go to Bourgeois. They're part of the bourgeoisie. Me? I was born in the dumpster. I was found inside of a lint collector in a laundromat. Built with a silver spoon in your mouth. Born with it. Me, I was born with lint in my pockets and moths in my wallet. And I've climbed up to where I am. It's true. Every time that I say, if you would please, what do they say in BioShock? What are we talking about? So yeah, the release schedule. I'm trying to get off more of social media, try to play more games. And that's the thing. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about Magic. Everyone was super excited for Lorwyn Eclipse. I think it's great. And for those who don't know, Lorwyn Eclipse, my eye itches, dude. I think I have a sty. And I think my brain is melting inside my head. And so Lorwyn Eclipse is supposed to be, it's like a in-universe, because now we get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Avatar: Last Airbender and Final Fantasy and this and that, and who cares? And everyone's like, we gotta support this set, and it's great, and it's made Standard terrible. I said earlier that Badger Mole Cub would be like the greatest thing to happen to Standard, and now it's just a control meta, and it's just made me realize that even when I try to enjoy myself, I can't get past the obstacles that are the rot, the loss of time, the anxiety of it all, right? I played 2.5 hours. I'm not kidding. I played 2.5 hours 2 days ago on Arena, and I went 3 and 40. Listen to that again, 3 and 40. And I go and I say, I gotta relax. Because I get mad. I get furious. I get angry. I lose myself in the time. And I think, like, I need to be reading more. I need to be watching TV more. And then I sit down and I play MTG Standard, and for what? And for what? I play roguelikes, and for what? And then you start thinking about it. You're in like a K-hole, thinking about what is real, what is not. You're Tony Soprano yelling into Red Rocks, saying, I finally get it now. And for me, it's just like, I'm opposed to it. They say the worst day of your life is when you die and you meet the person you could have been. I'll look that guy in the eyes and I'll say, F you. All right? I'll say, you could have been the most accomplished person in the world. Did you do the right thing? Because I know the choices I made right now are the right things. And I'm playing Magic the Gathering and I'm punching a hole through my monitor. It's the worst. I want to go back to Commander. I want to go back to Commander. I want to be playing with friends near the hearth, in the tavern drinking mead, talking about the bandit raid we just got done. And then the world around me fizzles, and I'm in a box wearing a straitjacket. I'm smacking my head against the wall, thinking about what the next meta is, how I can be anti-meta, how I can be pro-meta while being anti-meta, and it's for nothing. I'll never receive the Pro Tour box in my mail. I'll get a Christmas card from Wizards saying, good job patting me on the head. Thanks for making an ad for us. They wouldn't even choose me. I'm not cozy enough. I don't grab you all and say, we have to hold hands together. You're my enemy in Magic the Gathering Arena. I emote on you. One of these days, I seriously think someone is going to play against me in Arena, and they will see how absolutely toxic I am. Because if you're playing Reanimation for the 80th time today, Best of One is made for Reanimation. Because everyone who plays Reanimation, if you play against Reanimation, which is the current like meta against Is It Lessons, anything in Graveyard is Best of One meta. Because the people who aren't playing those, aren't playing anything that deals with Graveyard, has to have Graveyard hate, which means that they have to have less of the good cards they need to win against the anti-Graveyard. So Graveyard climbs up and they think they're good at the game, and they laugh, and I'm punching the vinyl off the walls in my bathroom, and I'm there and I'm taking a cold shower like the guy from Creed, like Rocky. I hear my own heartbeat in my ears. I feel the hair growing out of my skin. I've reached peak rage, something that wouldn't even happen in like the 1500s unless you had a blood feud and you were part of the Hatfield or the McCoys. Because I went against one of these Spider-Man cards that reanimates the entire battlefield. I've seen it. I've seen anger. I've understood it. I've played Stalker. I've seen the movie, and then I made a TTRPG based around it where we talk at each other. This is BoldTakes and Bad Tempers. This is a D&D podcast where I talk about whatever. Does it matter anymore? Does anything matter anymore? I walk outside, and it's freezing, and it's cold. I'm huddled around the oil drum. There's mutant rats in my ceiling. It's too bright in my videos. There's an AI filter on my YouTube. And I play Magic the Gathering Arena. When you have everything, you strive for nothing. We seek conflict. And where do I find that? Staring down the barrel of an anonymous player playing Graveyard Reanimation. All right. Do I have anything else to talk about? I really don't think so. All is quiet on the D&D front, as always. As always. I don't know how like, you should see the setup I have right now for my camera. The tripod is going this way, and my camera's going this way, which I guess geographically makes sense. So it's straight. I make inside jokes for myself, for I will be the only one who understands them. All right. We're just going to get into questions. I don't even know what to talk about anymore. I'm just going to cut it. The podcast is over. For a second, I thought, do I even talk about corners? Do I talk about anything anymore? Hi, Zank. My name is this, and I'm a big fan of the pod. Apologies in advance for the long preamble to the question. Earlier this year, I suggested to a couple of friends who haven't played D&D before that we started a campaign together. I'd be the one DMing, and I said I'd teach them the ropes of how to play. They were excited at the idea, at them both being very skilled artists. Immediately got to work. Artist talent is a 2-cost red enchantment that makes it so. See, this is how my brain works now. This is how my brain works. It's like I'm trying to be a D1 athlete in a game that, like, I don't even play professionally. And I make the excuses up in my head. I'll play at Commander at home and I'll be good. I'll be on Tolarian Community College and I'll be good. I have to keep trying. I'm a rat at the bottom of a cultural sewer. I enjoy games made by people who make slot machines. I enjoy games that have been psychologically analyzed by the Rothschilds to make it so that I spend $400, that's a joke, by the way, on Arena. And I'm at the bottom of it, and I try to enrich myself. That guy from Smosh, Shane, he reads 1,000 books a day. He's like Ty Lopez. Here in my garage. There's a throwback to some of you. Those are the reference I have to make. Because I'm at the bottom of a cultural sewer. People are being enriched. Having me in a game of Civilization is like the opposite of having like Shakespeare be spawned into your country. Or Einstein in a game of Civilization. I bring your culture down. I'm a plight. I'm a SimCity natural disaster. Because I will go and I will argue with people in real life about a meta I don't care about that doesn't affect me for a format that nobody plays. And what am I left with? A rotted brain where I read artists and I think of a Magic card. Immediately got to work designing their characters while I busied myself with creating, so they both made their characters, world and telling them most basics of basics about D&D and how it works and how to make a sheet. I set it in a city that was built atop of the corpse of an enormous long dead water dragon in the middle of a desert. Is that a real thing or is that like a homebrew thing? Water Dragon D&D 5e. Oh, this came out of Tome of Horrors, but it's an elemental. So I don't know. Maybe, listen, I have to look these things up. My job is to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Someone at a convention hands me a soul coin, hands me something like this, and I say, what is it? And I'm next to Theater of the Unaligned and Foster. He goes, it's a soul coin, dummy. It's the thing from the thing that you do as a job. I grab him by the shoulders. I say, wake me up. I'm in a pod in the Matrix. I say, look me in the eyes, Foster. Do I know anything about anything? I throw him off. I slick my hair back and I put my hands against the wall. I'm spread eagle. I go, I've lost it. It's too late for me. Me growing up was Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. And after that, it was Binding of Isaac and CSGO. I worked every day. I turn back around to him and I look him in the eyes. I say, I worked every day at Arby's. I spent that money on opening CSGO cases. Do you know what I opened? Nothing. It was a preamble for the rest of my life when I'm nostalgic about the times that I was in. And I hope it's like a loot crate passing by, hoping that one day a remake or a sequel will come out and it'll fulfill me. I am at the bottom of a cultural sewer. I'm a rat. I'm a hunchback Nosferatu eating rats. I'm no whale. I don't have the money to make myself a whale. I'm a rat. And I drink the water and I eat them. Water in the middle of a desert. It was meant to be kind of a diamond in the rough, a hub of trade where travelers and merchants of all stripes braved the brutal heat for the opportunities that the city provided. Think Gerudo Town. That is Legend of Zelda, but 10 times bigger, with a huge dragon bones around the city skyline. Very cool. It created tons of shops, places to go, things to see, different districts, political conspiracies, ton of world building and lore, and even a twist where the city's high lord, who had been rumored to have gone mad, had been possessed by the enraged spirit of that long-dead water dragon, who has been trying to bring himself back from the dead. It was 2 months of writing and refining and really working my butt off to make something they'd like until I was finally ready to go. My friends never followed through. They never finished their character designs, their sheets, even a rough approximation of a backstory or what the characters would be like. I asked several times very politely over the course of said months, plus time after, if their characters were done or if they needed help, clarification on anything. They always responded with something along the lines of, oh yeah, I forgot about that, or I haven't gotten around to it. When I asked directly if they still wanted to play a game, in LA, my first year in LA, I had two friends that were going to visit me. I only had two friends the entire time that I've been in LA that like friends have visited me from Michigan, like my hometown friends. But two more were supposed to show up. Two more were supposed to come at a different time. Friday. They're supposed to get in tomorrow. Or it was Thursday. They're supposed to get in on Friday. It's like 6 p.m. Pacific, which makes it 9 p.m. Eastern. And I text my friends, I go, hey guys, what time do I pick you up from the airport tomorrow? They go, well, you're not coming. I go, what? We've been planning this for months. They go, yeah, something came up. We just really can't go. They both like said the exact same thing that was totally obscure. And I go, okay, well, I like kept my whole weekend open. And I've been planning about this for months. I got snacks in my apartment and everything. And you guys are just not going to go? Like, I feel like this is a big deal. Like, that's a full flight. You can get upwards of like $1,000 for two people, depending on where you fly into and how late you book. And they go, yeah, we got the tickets, but we canceled. It's just like, something came up. I go, you got the tickets. Okay. And then they just proceeded to never visit me the entire time I was there. So I get it. I get how this goes. My question is this: should I get rid of the world I created or save it for a group? I'm going to tell you what you need to do. All right. You need to sit down. You worked so hard on this world. You need to sit down and you need to think of who these people's rivals are, who they stay up at night and they think about. That whatever person has success, this person's lives are worse off because of it. And they say to themselves, I'm not a jealous person. I try not to be, but it's my instincts. I'm a primordial being. I have things inside of me that are looking to come out that I try to keep. It's the beast. It's the beast from Vampire the Masquerade, and my humanity is getting real low. You need to take their enemies, their rivals, and you need to make them play the game that you are. And I need you to spend a lot of time on it. I need you to spend so much time that it alters their life forever. I want these players to get tattoos of their characters on them. I want their lives to be irrevocably changed from this water dragon city you have. And when those other friends come crawling back and they say, can I guest in the campaign? You laugh. You've won. And you tell them no. And then you could also do where, like, if they aren't going to do it on their own, I guess have like a session 0 and they can make it all together. My question is, we got through that. The setting, and I don't want to waste the work, but on the other hand, I made it for my friends with a setting and story stuff they liked, and because of what's happened, because it was made for them, it sourced my thoughts on the world to the point they have no interest in it at all. And then they just kind of get mad, and then they think about it, or they go through the notes. You need to read the works of Carl Jung, or Jung, or whatever. I need you to learn about the collective unconscious. You need to write, this is where Berserk comes in. Berserk is very much a story written in the collective unconscious. It appeals to all. For the most part, the theme does. Let's say the theme. Maybe I shouldn't say Berserk appeals to all. The other thing is I need you to read up on Carl Jung's work. And I need you to realize that what you're writing fundamentally needs to appeal to everyone. It's a theme, a story that needs to be told for everyone. So even if this world is made for them because they like water and they like dragons. I know my friends well, they all drink water. One of them has a 3D printed dragon on their on their bookshelf they got at a flea market, not realizing that everyone has a 3D printed dragon at flea markets. But yeah, that's it. Am I being dramatic, or should I suck it up and keep the world? Or am I right to get rid of want to rid myself of it? Thanks for responding. Thanks for all the hard work you put into making the short and long form content. You're my favorite podcast to listen to whilst I do my dishes. P.S. You have the cadence and speaking patterns of Brittany Broski. Thank you. That is, I do take that as a compliment. She is quite funny. Yeah, I think you're not being dramatic. I think it is totally fine for you to be like, hey, I need to get my friends' rivals together for them to yearn to play in a game. They're at lunch. They're in the office. It's been a dull day. They're in sales. They haven't hit their commission cap yet. Their boss is on them. They're talking about KPIs, and you thought about when you were a kid and you wanted to be an astronaut playing a guitar in space, and you realize that it doesn't matter in the end. This is just a transitional moment for me. And then they hear their rival talk about a game that they were supposed to play in that's super fun. What does that do to a person? So that's my advice. For my next campaign that I'm running, this is the next question, because I took out their hello. For my next campaign that I'm running, I'm going with a hex crawl adventure survival kind of vibe. Okay, if it looks like I'm crying, I drank water and I went down the wrong pipe. For my next campaign that I'm running, I'm going with a hex crawls adventure survival kind of vibe, taking inspiration from the Donner Party, the like cannibal people, the Wild West, and classic D&D. I've been talking about, oh my God, I'm dying. I've been talking about to my players, and they're really excited for the D&D classics like Dungeons, Beholders, Werewolves, Dragons, Mimics, and whatever else. I think I'll throw them across a dangerous and badly charted land. I'm thinking my plot lines being A plot, the party crosses the land in a wagon train. B plot will be the discovery of why this land is in ruin and near abandoned. C plot will be the town-to-town stories and dungeons. This is where I'm running into my issue. What can I do for a big bad? Can I run a campaign without one? Will the dangerous trek across my country to a newly developing city be enough for a satisfying and good end? Me and my friends are excited, but I'm worried I'll get tired halfway through and it'll be repetitive. So, okay, I don't know much about anything. I'm a rat in the sewer. I eat up magic cards, and I can't think of words without thinking of them as magic cards. But I do know that inherently you don't need a big bad. Do I think it's a good idea? No. You got man versus self, man versus God, man versus food. I think, honestly, it's not a great idea if you don't have a big bad. I think it's like a structural thing. It's easier to make it so that you have a big bad guy that at the end of, like, why do we say that? Why do we say the big bad guy? What do we just say in literature? The antagonist? Well, Zach, it's the big antagonist. It's the antagonist that comes at the end. Who made this term? I'm on the Wikipedia page for big bad. Big bad is a term to describe a major reoccurring adversary, usually the chief villain or antagonist in a television series. So it's a television thing, a particular broadcast season of a series originally used by the series Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's the girl from the George Romero Call of the Dead Nazi zombie map. I don't know. I just feel like there's such a better way we can go about it. Like, I feel like that's like a Doctor Who thing. Like, that's like the Dalek guy is like the big bad. He's the big bad guy, but like there's other arcs. I get it. It just sounds stupid to say it. The big bad evil guy. He's the big bad evil guy. I'm rotten to the core. This is what you find in the sewers. Yeah, people sifting through the dirt in between the cracks in New York outside the jewelry stores trying to find gold. And I am underneath. I'm in the rats. I'm in the sewers. I'm not in the rats. Pause! I'm in the sewers, sifting through roguelikes and arena games. This is where I'm running into my issue. What can I do for a big bad? I don't know, man. I like it. Listen, you don't have to. I don't see why you would not want one. Like, also, I don't know why you're separating all these different plots. They could all just be the same thing. It's kind of boring if you just go one direction and you're just like, well, why is the city not here? Like, maybe the other question is like, I like how the A plot is the party crossing the land in a wagon train. Like, is that like the thing from Oregon Trail? Worst board game in the world, by the way. We know that. But I'm just thinking, I'm like, I don't know. I'm doing a thing with trains. Maybe that's what you're talking about. I think it'd be cool. Why not just do all of them? Zach, I've just written myself in a hole. I haven't written anything yet, but I've written myself into a hole. Do I make a wagon train, or do I do this, or do I do that? And should I make a main villain? I just don't know why our brains go straight into... This is like, I need more conflict for myself in writing this thing that's not written yet. Do I make the wagon train? Would it be cool without a main villain? I don't know. Zach, what should I do? I don't know. All of a sudden, all of your problems in your life are my problems. And I gotta think real quick about these conflicts for a story you haven't made are all of a sudden a problem for me. Sorry for the long email. Love the content, man. It helps me get through my 48-hour long shifts at the ball crushing factory. Keep it up. Hello, Zach. I have a level 3 party, and one of my players keeps asking to make purple worm poison and some paralyzing poison for like 50 gold. This entire question is like 4 lines of text. And he has min-max his characters to make cheat potions, which I'm fine with, but he's level 3 and won't fart and take any subclass that does like this MF, is actively ignoring the homebrew subclasses that are a part of the system to do this. I think I read this because I want you guys to know the other kinds of questions I have to sift through. So this guy has a level 3 party. He has made it so that he has homebrew. Zach, the homebrew I made is a problem. Please fix it for me. Zach, I added homebrew to my world, and I don't know anything about anything, and I need you to fix it for me. Any advice? This guy keeps making purple worm poison. How are you making purple worm poison at level 3? What are you talking about? Are you using crafting rules? Hello, Shorts. That's actually kind of funny. Yeah, I did some location scouting over the weekend, and I like had to talk to a bunch of like bar owners to be like, can I use your bar for a bat? Like, and usually it's like I'm willing to spend. One time I asked a game store, I'm like, hey, can I shoot at night? And like I had friends who worked at the game store, and they were more than willing to be there. And I was like, hey, can I shoot at night right after you guys close, just for a second? And like, I guess maybe I said 2 hours or something. They were like $2,000. No, I'm not doing that. No, thank you. But I went around, did some location scouting. I'm like, I make shorts. Don't watch the long form stuff. Don't. I'm making a short here. Like, look at my shorts. Love you, Germas and Rejerk's been watching the pod for a while now and finally decided to write in. My best friend has been running a campaign for 5 of our friends for a while now. We do play online and get together once a week on a Discord for our role game. What happens usually is about maybe an hour or two into a session, maybe one player drops off and then another and then another. Sometimes it's babysitting or their internet goes down or they just want to play VR chat. What? I know my best friend has been putting a lot of time into making his custom world and story. Essentially, we're a ragtag group of adventurers who just so happen to fall into the bunch of political mishaps, lords getting assassinated by their own sons and such, and are currently tasked to infiltrate an enemy kingdom's high command to find out where they're planning to attack next. More interesting parts of the story happen few and far between, but overall it feels like we're going nowhere because our DM takes a dungeon or encounter from a book and throws it in, making almost every session feel like a filler episode from Naruto. I swear at least 3 players are playing a game like Valorant in the background. Dude, that is crazy. It's interesting to me because I don't interact with this type of person. The Valorants, the VR chats. One of my good friends kinda has like escaped from that world. But it is very interesting to me. Like the culture that is in these places, the Marvel Rivals, the VR chat, the Valorant, the League of Legends. And it's just so out of my, like, that is my boomer area. And it's funny because sometimes I'll play at Team Liquid and like with some developers for League of Legends and stuff for Magic. And I'm like, I don't understand any of this culture that's going on. And so it's interesting to me that like they're actively playing Valorant, a game where you have to like make call outs and stuff, or VR chat, making almost every Valorant in the background at the same time, and are so bad at role-playing decision-making they just wait for me to do something, then copy it. Can't really tell if my other friends are leaving mid-session because of the story, or they're just fried Zoomer brains. It's probably a little bit of both. I think it's more the latter. Another thing I swear is every combat encounter takes at least an hour because 25 sessions in, dude, I deal with this in one of my games. It's brutal. It's like we are seriously like almost at the, like Stop saying like. Why do I keep saying that? He is not combat good. He's taking forever. It's every single encounter. We have one more session to go. It's the big bad. Last time we fought the sub big bad. And it's just, our sessions would be literally 70 minutes shorter if this person just knew what they were doing. We've been playing for like 4 years. But anyway, is there a way as a player to help make each session engaging for other players? Yeah, tell them to get off their game. Tell them to get off VR chat. Call them out. Make fun of them. Oh my God. Are these your friends? Well, Zach, what do I say to they're your friends. You should be able to say anything to them. You should be able to say anything to them. Get off VR chat. Get off Valorant. Learn your gosh dang character sheet. They're your friends. How can you not confide in your friends enough to confront them about not engaging in a game? How do I make my friends better players? Talk to them. They're your friends. You should be the one person in their lives that they should be able to take advice from. Even in their closest friends, their closest Freudian slip. Freud thinks I want to bang my mom. I don't care what Freud thinks. If I slip on him, I don't give a shit. Their closest family. Their mentors, whatever. You're their friends. They chose you to be your friends, okay? Zach, I just don't know what to say to my friends. Make fun of them. Make fun of them and call them out. Improve them as people. Is it their fried Zoomer brains? Maybe it's because no one's told them in their lives that they gotta pick themselves up by their bootstraps. That's a joke. Maybe it's because no one in their lives told them at any point, wake up. They wake up. It's a snow-covered field. It's a gentle snow. They're naked. They have to take a second to gather their surroundings. It's almost like a flat map in Minecraft. The only vegetation that sticks up through the snow is the grass that melts around their hands, is the twigs that stick up from the ground. It's them realizing the landscape of their life. Not a void, not something unsubstantiated, but a barren wasteland where if one thing, the snow, was gone, it'd be a thriving community. It'd be a thriving world. But it's blank, empty, and cold. And they look down and they look up, and the snow falls onto their face. They've realized that this environment that they've created in their brain has been nothing but shooting games that they'll forget about in a second. VR chat moments that melts their day into memories equatable to clipped moments in a 16-year-old's bookmark videos on TikTok that likes FaZe and Twitch streamers. And for a moment, they just wish that someone at any point told them, wake up, shovel the snow, melt it if you could, at least try. Yes, I ran a Curse of Strahd campaign before this same group and didn't experience the same issues, unjerk, besides combat. Shake your friends and wake them up. No one else will. Grow some balls, damn it. Okay, wow, hard cut. We're back. Different outfit, way different day. This is way later in the future. You may notice my voice is now gone as well. I recorded the first half of the podcast way earlier in the week, and I'm now recording this part on Sunday night. This weekend, I spent some time with friends where we had a LAN party. When I was in middle school, my best friend, he had a tournament with 8 of us to play Mario Baseball. He invited all of us over to have a sleepover and play Mario Baseball. And the way that it worked was that he owned the game and none of us have played Mario Baseball, and he's like played the campaign. And he bought a prize. We had a tournament, and the prize was like this Boy Scouts popcorn. And the thing was Boy Scouts popcorn. And by the end of the tournament, he had taken the bracket that he has won. It was made out of cardboard, and he made it into a necklace. and he spent the rest of the sleepover like on the couch as we watched anime. He's eating the popcorn. Flash forward now, I'm almost 30. I'm pushing 30. And we have a LAN party this weekend. We played a lot of games. We played really esoteric indie games. We played everything. I mean, we played stuff from like White Noise 2 and Shotgun Farmers to stuff like Titanfall 2, rest in peace, and like Ark Survival Ascended. And one game we played in particular, let me make sure I have this right, is this video game called Rise of Nations. It's an RTS map-like game. My voice is ruined. I will get into that in a second. And essentially what it is like Civilization but there's no pause, there's no turns. You start the game and you better know what you're doing, which I didn't. I was the only one in that room who had never played Rise of Nations before. But I'm really good at Frostpunk. I'm really good at Frostpunk 2. I don't know if I'm good. I'm definitely not good at Civ. So long story short, two of my buddy who also ran the Mario baseball tournament when I was in middle school teamed up with the one other person who plays Rise of Nations religiously. And the three of us got nuked into oblivion. And I'm trying to be nice and be like, oh, and like, how does this work? And whatever. And how does this? And then I'm getting attacked. And the final one to get attacked, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm absolutely getting obliterated. And I go, hey, other friend, the guy who ruined my life in Mario Baseball is attacking me. You should attack him. He goes, actually, we made an alliance 10 minutes before the game started. I uninstalled the game right then and there. I Alt F4'd. I uninstalled the game and I told him I'm never playing it again. Well, I got my revenge that night because we played Left 4 Dead 2 multiplayer. Left 4 Dead 2 multiplayer is like amazing, and I'm really good at it because my brother and my cousin have played it a lot, and so I had to play it with them. And so it was a 2v3 because we played all of these stupid games that have no free-for-all mode, so every game we played was unbalanced. Well, we played Left 4 Dead 2 multiplayer, and I wiped the floor with them, and we get into a yelling match. I go scoreboard. I say 2v3, by the way, 2v3. We dapping each other up, me and my teammate. I go, you've played this game before, right? No, I haven't played a Rise of Nations. He goes, how many hours do you have on this? How many hours do you have on this? We go back and forth and it got brutal. It's so funny because like right after that, we're totally fine. But we're literally yelling at each other, almost like full on battery. And then after that, we're like, oh, you guys want to play White Noise 2? And we're totally fine. We're going to get into some super thanks. Astro Toon sent in $5. Hey, Zach, Return of the Mac Bowl. Just wanted to give you thanks for your awesome podcast. It's greatly helped me throughout my chud blue-collar worker job. You've inspired me to start recording audio journals for my home game, Legends of Avaria, Shadows of the Crystal Coast. Thanks again. Expect some fan art real soon. Whoa. Thank you. James Gunn Rowland sent $5. Thanks for another podcast, Zach. Medro sends big 30 shekels and says thanks. Cross Guardian sends $5. Hey, Zach, the attic mouse killer and sewer rat eater. Big fan. This is my first write-in. Super thanks. My friends and I watched the pod. He asked about music recommendations. I also love Cage the Elephant. And it's a huge outlet for the lack of TTD&D, DNPC, MRPGG, tabletop Dungeons and Dragons, dice and paper character making, role-playing game in our lives. My D&D-like question is that I'd like to start running Daggerheart for us. So do you have any recommendations for making a world for Daggerheart? Or was it no different than making a D&D campaign? Please keep up the good work. You'll fill in a content niche for me. No one else does. You fill in a content niche for me. No one else does. And I can't wait to go without it. Much love from Tennessee. Hey, I wish I was on old Rocket Top down in the Tennessee hills. I haven't noticed a difference yet. I'm playing through right now Daggerheart. And there's not, I don't know if this is bad to say, but it's just like there isn't anything in Daggerheart that I couldn't just move over to D&D and vice versa. But maybe I just don't have the game sense yet to be like, oh, this works better in D&D than it does in Daggerheart. And I'm talking purely story or campaign structure. So I haven't noticed anything like that. I think it is pretty similar. I guess I'll let you know as time goes on. We had to miss a session this week because of LAN party, but appreciate it. Burning Blaze 005 sent $5. Hey, Zach, I've been listening to older episodes during work, and I didn't expect to cry on my lunch break to the good times monologue and the plight of the spotlight hog. Anyways, I've realized something about my role-playing abilities. It's hard for me to get into characters or to think like my character on the fly. But when I'm either playing a bit or joking around in the post-session voice chat, I can easily play the character. I think it's because I view those conversations as less important, so I can more easily get into it. Well, the main session I view as more serious, and I get anxious. Any advice to help get into character before a session, or to view the session less anxiously? Thank you, Zach, with a K. I enjoy your... Okay, before we get to the second part. There are like improv exercises you can do, like word association. Do a full Herald. If you're not an improv guy, learn it. You need to pick up a book called what do I have it around here? There's a book called Truth in Comedy. I think it used to be kind of known as this Bible of improv. If it's not, it's known as like the Stone Tablets of Improv, and now is like kind of gone on to be something bigger. Go and do a Herald. Do 3 full Heralds. Do 3 perfect Heralds. In all seriousness, I would say like it's definitely performance anxiety. Just know it's not that serious, but it is serious. Like you're trying to have fun and you want to role play serious. But no, it's nothing people are going to critique you for. You know, I think it's great. Like I think if you're being bad if you're having performance anxiety of like playing a character in your D&D game with your friends, it might be a good place to start when it comes to working on, I don't want to keep saying performance anxiety. I don't want to keep saying performance anxiety because then I'm like, it can help you in other places where you have performance anxiety. Guys, I need to be better at D&D so I can get better in the bedroom, guys. Don't worry about it. And I'd say like use that time to make it so that you can hone a skill that may need some honing, right? Let's get back to the awesome second part of this question. Thank you, Zach, with a K. I enjoy your pen, paper, dice tray, computer, virtual tabletop, notes app, tabletop role-playing game videos, so please do and do not make fun of me and yell at me. I will and won't find it funny. P.S. If and when you make merch, please make one that references experiencing ego death at a college rendition of My Fair Lady. Clink here sent $2. Hey, Zach, loving the pod. I have a Daggerheart DM question. Dude, I'm so not qualified to answer these. I'm like not the Daggerheart guy now. I've played a lot and I'm just now running the campaign, but I'm just like not the resource. I'm not yet the resource. I'm having a hard time trying to find uses of fear outside of combat and just need some ideas. Dude, I feel this so hard. Like I'm trying to like use fear outside of combat. It just feels like I'm screwing my players over. And the book series, The Dresden Files, like literally every book is just this guy named Harry Dresden just having the worst, most awful day of his life. And it feels like whenever I use fear to interrupt one of my friends in like role play, I just feel like a smug asshole. I just feel like the worst guy in the world because it just feels like I'm like, and then a chemical toilet falls out of a plane and lands on you. I use a fear. And there's just no rhyme or reason. Don't ask me this question. I don't know. I got to work on it. Keep up the great ratch munching work. I appreciate it. Dak78 with $10. Hey, Zach, I just wanted to share how last episode's backroom question inspired me to make my own homebrew game that takes place entirely inside of a white padded room. All of the players are playing as voices inside my head. It's going super well so far. I've never lost my voice, like I barely ever. So we were yelling at each other. All of my players are playing his voice, and it's going super well so far. I'm not entirely sure how long the game has been running or if we stopped, but it's been really immersive. I do really feel... Dude, also my pipes, the water in my pipes froze in my house, and and we haven't had water. I really do feel like I'm trapped inside a padded white room wearing a straitjacket. All my players have been really super into it and super immersive. I feel like I'm like about to pass out. Almost making me question if it's a game to them or not. LOL. Anyways, hope you're doing well. I just really wanted to tell you about this super immersive homebrew I've been running. Almost feels like I haven't talked to a real person since before we started. Thanks for reading. Yeah, thank you. Skooma Dealer 420 sent in £5. Hello, Crack the Fold. Italian guy here again to explain some things you might have already figured out by the time the next episode comes out. Vampire the Masquerade and Vampire the Requiem are 2 different game lines. Oh. Vampire the Masquerade is set in the World of Darkness, now also called Old Classic World of Darkness. Vampire the Requiem is set in Chronicles of Darkness, which some people call the New World of Darkness. Yes, it is a bit confusing. Does the joke still apply where it's like Old Classic World of Darkness, VTM is like OSR. Can I make that joke? Like that's old school revival stuff or revisionist stuff or whatever they call it. The main difference is that all the game lines in the original World of Darkness, Werewolf, Mage, Vampire are set in the same universe, while each game line in, dude, holy schmoly, Chronicles of Darkness is basically its own setting. It doesn't necessarily have lore in common with the others. So Vampire the Masquerade Requiem is in the Requiem series, right? Vampire the Masquerade Requiem is like in a different one. All game lines in World of Darkness have something in common with their Chronicles of Darkness counterparts, but also many differences. For example, Vampire the Masquerade and Vampire the Requiem share only a few vampire clans. One last thing, I don't want to sound like a prick by correcting you, but it's Machiavellian, not Machiavellian. I don't think you're bad at reading. I think you just read a bit. I did, 100%. This is, all right, so that's so, it's not so confusing. I guess that makes sense. I kind of like the idea that the world is more connected in some way, but you can do more if none of the worlds are connected. So that's interesting. So what do I have? What is this? Is this like the first? Because this says World of Darkness. Is this Vampire the Requiem book like before that distinction? I don't know. Lick Squid 6351 sent $5. Zach, help me. Recently, my problem player said he's losing interest in my homebrew campaign set in La Quinta in Kokomo, Indiana. Is my player too dumb to understand the intricacies of my campaign, or am I just mashed potato? It's baked potato pizza. Ordering chud, and it's good. I still have not given them business sense, by the way. Dalek Uka 3993 sent in 10 pounds. Hey, Zach the Dolt. Can you guys say my name right? Can you spell it right? It's right there. Zach the Bold, Zach the Cold, Zach the Jerk, Zach the Unjerk, Zach the rat-eating chud, peasant, loser, idiot. Hello, Zach the Dolt. Thank so much for hosting this podcast. I look forward to it every week, and it gives me the biggest smile while I'm trying to get through my factory job. I wanted to ask a question I've been thinking of for quite a while, and it was, what do you think about the player pacifism in a campaign? Recently, I've been thinking of an animated armor warforged paladin named Borscht Bulwark, who is a great cook and loves to save lives so other people can experience the small things in life, and he's perfect. And he is perfecting his cooking for when he finally gets his old body back. The problem is, how far do you think I should push? So you're like a mix of the brother from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Senshi from Dungeon Meshi. The problem is that could be wrong. I don't know. I'm trying to appeal to my anime bros right now. Meanwhile, I say Attack on Titan was retconned too much, and people are like, ah. The problem is, how far do you think I should push the pacifism? I asked the party about the characters passive. Yeah, the thing about this is, I don't know if I talked about this in a while. Pacifism is really hard to do in a D&D game because combat is such an essential part of it. It's like one of the three main things that make D&D what D&D is. And the thing is about a pacifist character is it just becomes a nuisance for the other players more than anything, right? And it's hard to be, you're what, a paladin? What did you want to be? Yeah, paladin. There's a way to be a paladin. Like if you have a bunch of mages, you can play the new Unearthed Arcana where it's directly made for mage support, which is so stupid. Yeah, the only time I made a pacifist character, I made it so that they like learn to use their fighting for good. It's just incredibly hard without being an absolute nuisance, especially if you're trying to be like a martial character. But there's like there's like a paladin, like Path of Redemption can be done because it's like, you command people more or whatever. I'm thinking I asked the party about the character's passive. Just please do that. And I try not to go full against the party, but I'm very interested in what you say. Yeah, definitely my question is 100%. My answer to that question 100% is just like, yeah, just be very careful with it because you can become more of a nuisance than a helpful person in a party. Noah, oh my God. Noah H. Hestatune 8775 sent $5. You posted after my 18-hour shift. What the F am I supposed to do now? Wait until tomorrow? Listen to it while playing Arc Raiders with proximity chat on? Don't do that. I'll ask Jeeves. Thanks for making me laugh once a week minimum. Sending Miss West love from Wisconsin. Shout out Wisconsin. The Fantastic Funk 5035 sent in $5. Hey there, been a fan for a while. I'll try to keep this as short as I can. I volunteer to do Pathfinder Society. The open season Pathfinder Society is like Adventures League if someone gave a shit about it at a company, for those who don't know. Essentially, people, you can go to like your local game store and play Pathfinder there. It's pick up, put down games. And also it's like tracked. I've never got this about Adventurers League or Pathfinder Society, where it's like you have like a CSGO inventory in your like Pathfinder Society, but it's made up. I mean, it's like you can't like verify if any of that is real. These games are often open to the public with the idea that being that you could sit down with a bunch of new people every week to complete a set story that contributes to the wider world history of the setting. Here's the problem. While the initial idea behind this being drop in, drop out is well-meaning, it's also been a double-edged sword. It has been increasingly difficult to entice people I know who like D&D, Pathfinder 2E, etc. We love acronyms because this says D&D, PF2E, and ETC. ETC? ETC, TTRPG. To even consider doing Pathfinder Society, when I've asked further about it, it seems like it could come down to people being shy or not wanting to roll the dice. Get it? With who they are playing with in a given week. As a GM, I have seen the occasional rough table, so I can get it. Dude, I literally had a player before at an Adventures League who was clearly an alcoholic at home. One day came trashed, multiple times trashed. We eventually had to kick them out. So I totally get it. The players being like, I don't like, there's also weirdos. Like there are weirdos at game stores. I'm not of like, I don't like the thing where it's like every game store is just weirdos and that's all I'm going to talk about. Like, yes, objectively there are weirdos at game stores. But like, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Otherwise there wouldn't be game stores. As a GM, I've seen occasional rough tables so I can get where this is coming from, but they're pretty rare. So I end up playing with the same table of 7 people throughout the month. This is so funny because that's what happened to me at Adventures League, and I loved it. I was like, that's how I made all my friends in LA. But I get the appeal of you want new people shifting in and out. Any ideas of the real problem public play games may be having? Do you have any ideas on how to kind of break this train of thought? I think about this every time I hear someone say, we don't have a GM, or I kind of don't have anyone to play with. I hope that wasn't too long. Thanks again. Hope to meet you sometime this year. So it's really hard because the public perception right now is it's a double-edged sword when talking about weirdos and creeps and freaks at a game store. Because on one hand, you have to address the problem. We can't just be like passively letting people, be weird, rude, like misogynistic to women, like overly sexual, overly intoxicated, overly weird, overly aggressive. And like it should be called out. The thing is I see a lot more of this being done online than I do in person. Like someone will see something happen at a game store and they'll write about it online. They'll go, this happened to me today at my local game store and I did nothing. Or I told the tournament organizer or whatever. It's like, it's like giving this moral, like this currency of being like, guys, look at me. I called out like this bad thing happened at my game store. Isn't this bad and wrong? Hey, there's this like weirdly social awkward dude is a creep at my game store and like I'm making fun of him on the internet for points. Isn't that like funny? Don't you guys like me more because like I'm in the right for that? But in the same context, it's like you read these stories of people being like, this is someone I know at a game store. This is someone I've interacted with. And they just don't do anything about it to this person. They don't call them out on it. They don't say I'm not advocating for people to be aggressive and like, you're a freaking weirdo. Like you need to go and say that to a person, like something. But if like you see something, say something, right? Like if someone comes over and they're like being weird to some like girl who's just trying out like the game store for the first time. And I'm not trying to be like a white knight, like whatever. But it's the same thing. It's like if someone's also being like, well, actually, if they're playing Warhammer, they're being like, well, actually, if that's like, you can be like, wop wop. That's what I'm that's what I'm advocating for. I'm saying like, if you're gonna be so proactive online about a problem that there is at game stores, then there's 2 problems that you are causing. One, you aren't calling out the issue in the first place. And maybe even that's just telling the organizer, telling the person at the game store. In my opinion, I think it's saying something. I think we're so confrontationally adverse, especially like in the nerd community, that even just calling someone out with your words, I think is enough to deter a lot of people. And a lot of people don't get social cues, and there's a lot of nuance to that answer, right? But the other thing is that if we continue to perpetually make these jokes that creepy weird guy at the game store is mean. This creepy weird guy at the game store is like bad and weird and smells bad and whatever, then you're doing a disservice to both the community and people who want to join the community. Because now people don't want to go to the game store because there's these weirdo creeps. And at the same time, no one's coming in and no one's doing anything about it. So it's like you're creating this farce, this like these shadows on the wall that are not like reality of what it means to be in a game store. And it's just, for me, I'm like, that seems like such pandering. Like, oh, this is like what I want to do. And it's not one creator. It's definitely like an overall, it's like you see these stories on Reddit about like someone hit me at like someone, it's terrible. Someone smacked my face like Billy's dad in Grim Adventures and Billy Mandy. Sorry, I coughed. And they're like, and I didn't do anything about it. And that's like a total extreme. That's not the same thing at all. Or it's like this guy got super aggressive with me at the game store. Someone was being really weird at the game store. And it's like you're telling people online who are coming into our community, like to not go to a game store, but you're not actually doing anything to solve the problem. And so I think that's a big thing about the preconceived ideas of what it is to go to a game store. But because people like it and it's easy to, consume these stories and be like, yeah, but, if you really want to make a difference in this world, if you really like yelling about it on the internet, especially something like this, like something so low stakes as this, won't do it. Like there has to be a point in everyone's life when you realize that like those moments you had sitting in class thinking like, oh, I'll be a hero one day. Like, what if this happens? Oh, if someone comes up to me and says something, I would say this, and this is what happened. Like at one point in everyone's life, that's gonna happen. And after that conflict happens, you're gonna be left feeling one of two ways. I should have said something, or I'm glad I did. And so it's just like, us in the gaming community, and again, I'm not advocating to go up to your local creep and like in the middle of like, they're not doing anything, you'd be like, you're a creep, and Zach the Bold told me to tell you to get the hell out of here and to confront you in person. But if someone is actively being weird, being creepy, being mean, call them out on it. Like, don't be like, oh my God, did you see that? What just happened an hour ago? And I think like this here is a product of those like creators and Reddit and all these forums creating that environment where it's just like, oh, I'm not going to go to the game store because these creeps are at the game store. Meanwhile, the people who are talking about these stories about the creep at the game store don't actually do anything about it at the game store. So it's just like, I'm very against that, like, idea that the joke is creepy guy at game store. This is creepy guy at game store. Because it's just like, so many people have totally fine, normal encounters at game stores. And then if something bad happens, you call it out and you make sure they know. And that's the thing too, is like all of these jokes are like just borderline making fun of people with autism who are either like farther on the spectrum or whatever. And the thing is like these people don't like people with autism a lot. So I'm no expert, whatever, but they don't understand social cues. Sometimes you just have to tell someone. You just have to be like, hey, listen, this made me uncomfortable. You probably shouldn't do something like this. The answer isn't to go online and put on a fedora and be like, this is like when the creepy guy is like, whatever. They may not even know they're doing something bad. Like, that's not the way to go about it. Do we not see the trickling effects of all this? And it's just like, I don't know. I'm advocating that like the game store is cool and fun. And like, I barely ever have problems at game stores. It's fun to talk about the problems at the game stores to make for good stories. But it's intrinsically a problem if your entire shtick, if like the joke is weird guy at game store, because it is borderline just making fun of these guys who don't have any other social group to go to, who don't understand social cues. And instead of like trying to improve someone, to try to make a situation better in real life, we'd rather like just talk about it online and let the idea fester in people's heads who haven't gone to a game store. Sorry, that was a long reply to that, but I'm very passionate about it. Because, I'm a creator. People ask me all the time. And I always tell them, go to Adventures League. Go to Adventures League and play D&D. It's how I made my core group of friends in LA, And it's just like, well, there's weirdos and whatever. And there were weirdos at the game store. But like, we would call them out. We had someone kicked out. We did something about it. And it's just like, if game stores were as bad as people make them out to be, no one would go to them. So it's hard to say what the solution is for this. I don't have a direct answer to you. It's more of like a philosophical inquiry, understanding of what the idea of like what we could do about this, or where the problem comes from. So I don't know. That's what I have to say about that. Papillon 7210 sent $2. Hey Zach, it's me, the last developer in the D&D wing of Wizards, currently scavenging expired pasta and tuna cans for sustenance, and thought I'd write in about a new module we're currently working on. It's an adaptation of Hamilton, but instead of reenacting Hamilton's life, the DM plays Lin-Manuel Miranda, the guy from The Sopranos. Only real ones know that. Casting people to be in the stage play, as well as dealing with the logistical and administrative issues. Would love to hear your feedback in a month next time I'm allowed back to the surface. All right, thank you for your vigilant work. Could you imagine like that is the way like Wizards went with D&D? It's like the Hamilton crossover. Like they really leaned into like the theater kid stuff of it. What is the Hell of a Boss, the Has Been Hotel crossover, the Lore Olympus crossover, the Amazing Digital Circus crossover. Not that I don't like any of those shows or anything, but, you know, an audience has an audience. You know what I mean? That's very funny. Well, I appreciate your work, Papillon. I never realized that you were the you were the guy who sent in, who worked in the D&D development. Have you guys heard about the Hasbro CEO like lawsuit? I think this is a nothing burger. Like that's what I read online. But I think it's going to get blown up. This is what I have to say about the Hasbro CEO's lawsuit situation is that from what I've read about people who actually know law, like these lawsuits happen all the time and it's a big nothing burger that like people do that own stocks. But I think it is like emphasized because so many people are like, yes, we know that there is like bad trade happening in Magic. Like Magic is progressively, actually, physically, like the product itself is getting worse. Magic, the product, the physical product is getting worse. The cards are crinkling. There is such variation between like the card quality. They're getting rid of the promo stamp. They're probably going to take the dice out of the pre-release kits. Not even allegedly. I'm just thinking that's probably what they're going to take out next. They got rid of the collector boosters and commander decks. Meanwhile, the commander decks are going to be stronger. So I think it's just like, it's a sign of the times. It's a sign of the times that people are fed up with it. So someone looking at this Hasbro CEO getting sued for, you know, making it so that numbers are inflated, kind of like product is whatever, is just like people being like, yeah, see, it's evidence. I knew it. I knew it. When in reality, it's most likely a big nothing burger. When it could be a something rat. Young Mitchie sent in 10 pounds. Hey, ZTB. Zach the Bold. Me and my friends are thinking, at least he spelled my name right. At least he spelled my name right and said my name. Me and my friends are thinking of starting a new D&DL, Dungeons and Dragons like LTC, long-term campaign. But one of us, dude, I'm stuck in hell. I am William Afton in Custom Night. I am William Afton in hell in Custom Night. And this is me. But one of us is moving to the PROC, People's Republic of China. And yet we kind of want to play IRL in real life. Sitting in my other friend's, oh my God, MTIGCGR, Medieval Tavern inspired Goon Cave game room. Thoughts? Yeah, I want to never have another thought again. Okay, so the question is, my friend's moving to China, Zach. How do we keep playing in person? I don't know. It's really hard to play with someone who's like on a computer and you're like, it does not work. That is a very jarring thing. Playing online is one thing. Playing in person's the best. Playing in person while one person's online, maybe it works for some people. I don't know. Maybe the speaker's loud enough. I don't know. It does not. I would say, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, it's just. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the 10 pounds. I don't know what to tell you. Papillon sent in another $10. Zach, you have an unrealistic number of bad service worker interactions. I think you're being railroaded. I'm not making them up. I'm serious. Like, I don't think, but listen, I haven't had any recently, right? And we went to, I went to the restaurant today and I didn't even bring it up. You know, there was nothing to talk about. We had a great time. It was totally fine. But I had a guy this was about a week ago. I had a guy who was training and, I had to be somewhere in like an hour and a half. So I think an hour and a half is absolutely fine. If you have something to be at in an hour and a half, to be at a sit down restaurant. And it was this new guy, and literally everything that could have gone wrong did. And I'm trying to be nice. And like, that's the thing. Like, the sentiment is people are overworked. The reality is, whatever you want me to say so that you think I'm a good person, whatever I can do to pander to you to fit your idea of what you want me to be. When I'm just a rat chud, remember that. Remember that when I say anything. I say, don't quote me. Don't listen to me. But the thing is like, we're be nice to service workers, and I definitely am. I served my time. I was at Chili's in the Big 16. But yeah, it was like the guy was new, and then someone brought my food, and they're like, hey, we don't know where your food is at all. The food was sitting on the counter at the bar. I didn't realize it. I'm on the other end for like 30 minutes, and they brought it over to me, and they go, hey, sorry. Like, and I have to like leave. I have to like leave at that point. Like, hey, sorry, this has been sitting on the bar. Like, we'll give it to you. But if it's cold, like, just tell us when we make it. I go, okay. I eat this fucking room temperature chicken bowl. I'm like, I scarf it down because I have to go. They come back and they're like, how was it? And it's gone. And they always make that comment. Well, wow, it must have been really good. I go, give me the check. Or shoot me in the head. Do one or the other. Because I'm so sick of this. I think that was it. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for writing in. I'm Zach Rinaldo, but known as Zach the Bold. I will see you guys next week with a better voice and a bigger heart, like a bigger heart. So enjoy your week. I'll see you next one. Bye.